I'm Cathy Moore, and this is my job. Next time you are driving around Cottage Grove, take a look at how many red fire hydrants there are. You may be surprised to know we have over 1,400 of them. Making sure these hydrants are in proper working order is the job of the city's water department. Today I'm working with Rick Alt. Hi Rick.
Hi Cathy.
What do you do for the city of Cottage Grove?
I'm the utility foreman for Public Works.
How long have you been working for the city of Cottage Grove?
This year I'm going on my 20th year for the utility department.
What exactly are we going to do here today?
Well, today this hydrant, we've got a couple things wrong with it. First of all, it's somewhat difficult to open, and we noticed that this bottom flange down there is leaking water. As I crack it open, you'll see water spitting out that bottom flange.
Okay.
So in order to repair this, we're gonna take this top off.
Yep.
And take all the parts out, clean it up, re-grease it up, and then we have to take this barrel off and put a new gasket on it, because more than likely that gasket got pinched or something's in it that's causing water to
go out the bottom.
Yeah. Well, let's go over to the truck and I'll show you the tools, what we need to get this fixed.
All right.
Cathy, this is where we're going to bring the working parts and get them cleaned up and stuff. So okay. I'm going to give you some latex gloves to put on.
All right.
So Cathy, we're going to use these tools. First of all, we're going to remove these 4 bolts,
okay,
and we'll take this top section off. And now that those 4 are loose, we'll just unscrew this. And then what we're doing, this operating nut is unscrewing from the rod.
Okay. Is that really heavy?
Yeah, there's some weight to it. Okay. We'll just set it down. Now what we want to do, we've got this piece right here. Yep. This connects to the operating nut, and what happens is that when you go to turn this rod right here moves up and down, and there's a seat down below that goes down and allows water to come up. Okay? So you can just take this, unscrew that by hand. Want to be careful not to drop anything in there.
Yeah, okay.
Now this cup, yep. Okay. And we'll bring those over to the truck as soon as it's coming. There we go.
Okay.
See, that's just the oil that was in that cup.
Sure.
And we'll take that over to the truck, get that cleaned up, and then this piece that stabilizes the rod will come off. Okay. Now in this piece, there's 2 rubber gaskets that we need to keep in place. See, this one's actually missing one, so we can replace that. We got to make sure we replace that one, and then just make sure that this one is sitting good. All we do is take a rag and wipe them clean, and key is you want to look at this rubber gasket. Just make sure there's no tears, because if there's tears in it or anything like that, because we're going to be adding new fresh grease and oil to it.
So Rick, what's the dirtiest job you've had working for the city?
Well, being in the utility department, we take care of the water distribution side, sanitary sewer side, and the street lights. The dirtiest job, obviously, is the sanitary sewer side. We go in there twice a year and power wash it and clean it. Did a nice job on that. What we'll do, this one, we'll put this one in, and you can see it's square, right in the groove. Is that in? And what we'll do, I'm going to have you just run some grease over it, and what that does, that'll keep it in place while we put it back.
So Rick, how often do you repair fire hydrants like this around the city?
There's times where vehicles hit them, and what happens in that case is that these are made to break at the ground level. Okay, so if a car were to hit it, it snaps this whole portion off, and then all we have to do repair is this flange right here. Okay, so they're designed to shear off at the ground.
And the water?
Nope, the water doesn't come out, because this rod actually has, if you can see those couplings, there's a groove in it, and they shear. Now this is why it's leaking, because the gasket wasn't set properly on that. Whether it came from the manufacturer or. So we'll set that aside, and if you want to just kind of wipe that clean.
Get all the grass and crud out of there? Okay.
Can you feel how it sets?
So Rick, what other things does the water department do?
One of our main priorities is to deliver potable drinking water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We also maintain the outdoor municipal pool, all our well sites, our water towers.
I know you flush all the hydrants throughout the year. How often do you do that and why?
We do our flushing twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall.
Sure.
And the main reason we do our water main flushing is to clean the water. We don't use as much water during the winter, obviously, so we go and clean out the water mains. And if you've seen them open, you'll see a discoloration, and it's just the iron manganese that's in the water that's sitting over the winter. And another thing is we make sure that these are operable. Okay, and I'll slide that over. That should sit down on that.
Nice.
Right like that.
What is this for then?
That just helps keep it lubricated,
okay.
You know, because this is a cup and it holds the grease and the oil. Sure. So when this operates, every time it operates, it's getting lubricated.
All right.
Okay.
So.
Yep, just pour it in there.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. And now the top section. Now that we got it all put back together, now we can test it out.
Okay.
Take that front cover off. Yep, that'll just hang right there.
Okay.
Put that on the operating nut, and we're ready to open it.
All right.
Once it starts coming, open her up more. Yep. We'll open her all the way.
Well, thanks for joining me today, Rick. It sure was interesting to see what you do and to see what makes up a fire hydrant.
Well, it's my pleasure. Hopefully you learned a little something about our water infrastructure and how to operate a fire hydrant.
Till next time, I'm Cathy Moore.